It's saying X. Oh, I think we're live. I think it worked. I think it worked. It's telling me there's an excellent connection. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today we'll of course just try to defeat the fucking Eat of Worlds again. Was it the 7th attempt now? I think. What's the bot? Can you remember?
I have no idea.
I think it's the 7th attempt, maybe 6th, something like that.
For all incentive purposes, it's just the first one, you know, because like we didn't have all the facts before, right? So
right,
it was basically cheating the worm.
Yeah, true. It was never truly a fair battle for the worm.
So now it's the first real fair battle.
True.
Unless if we die, in which case there was probably something unfair about it.
That was rigged.
Yep, right.
Yeah.
The wind did it.
They went usually. It's usually the problem.
Yep.
Anyhow, we were talking about something.
No, I was the one American. I think he was like a presidential candidate, but didn't make it too far. 2020. I want to say Andrew Ryan, but that's a different thing.
Oh, I'm thinking about Yang.
What's that his name?
That's the Asian one that wanted to do the 1000th one.
Yeah, no, like
he was the one. He was the one that wanted the I can't remember what's it's called. The stupid idea of just giving a bit
Andrew
of money.
Yang.
Andrew Yang, there you go. Yeah.
And Andrew wasn't completely wrong.
Andrew Yang came from a good background.
He did? Okay, I don't know. He just seemed more like a an entrepreneur than anything to me. Like that's the vibe he gives off.
That was what he was trying to. He went for that tech bro vibe.
Yeah.
Like Elon or something like that. If I remember correctly, like his family wasn't exactly like millionaires or anything, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay. His parents emigrated from Taiwan to the U.S. in the 1960s.
Yeah.
But then his parents met at what was it? Oh, damn it! No. What's it? His parents met in graduate school at the University of California, Berkeley.
Right.
His father graduated with a PhD in physics and worked in the research labs of IBM and General Electric, generating over 50 patents in his career. His mother graduated with a master's degree in statistics before becoming a systems administrator at a university and later an artist.
There you go. That's the kind of family I
His brother is a psychology professor at New York University. You know, that's what happens. Like parents are like that, then likely multiple kids are going to be like that.
Yeah. But yeah, he was also well off. Yeah, no, it was only that one gal.
Right.
What's the name? Since you're on there anyways. Just search like U.S. politician.
Among Us.
Yeah, Among Us. That should do it.
Politician is the imposter.
God.
Never mind. I'm just getting stuff about Bernie being the royal political imposter.
God almighty.
I don't know how he managed to get that title, but fair enough.
I don't know.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is simply a political imposter. Okay, maybe. Okay. Maybe I should.
That is why you need personalized search.
Politician. No, because now we found out what people search for. We found out that people think Bernie Sanders is an imposter. Anyway, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Cortez, that's her.
I probably don't know how to pronounce that correctly.
It was close enough, as far as I can remember.
Okay. Let's go.
But yeah, Cortez. Yeah, she was the one that was actually literally nothing.
Wow, kind of rude.
Okay, compared to like all of the other rich oligarchs, it's actually meant as a compliment.
Her father was born in the Bronx to a Puerto Rican family and became an architect. Her mother was born in Puerto Rico. No, okay, so to be fair, she's definitely coming off at a greater disadvantage, but she lived with her family in an apartment in the Bronx neighborhood of Parkchester until she was 5. But then the family moved to a suburban house in Yorktown Heights.
Okay, that's.
Which is, if I recall correctly, not necessarily too poor.
That's quite the opposite of poor.
Yeah. Residential areas in light industry, including the IBM Thomas J. Watson Research Center. I think they put that in a useful place for people who work there, probably. Anyway. She came in the second in the microbiology category of the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair in 2007. Is that like a college project?
Probably.
Maybe?
Like one of those like contest things. They have a lot of those in America.
In a show of appreciation for her efforts, the MIT Lincoln Laboratory named a small asteroid after her.
Oh yeah, that's just a
No, this is high school, maybe.
That also I might.
Anyway, point is, she got to school. She had some smart parents who brought themselves up from nothing, but she didn't get like an actual proper education.
Why can't we just have a fucking politician who's just like a farmer or something?
Like Boston University is not the worst. That's
like that's like the upper of the mid tiers.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess nothing too fancy either. Well, like a lot of politicians.
During college, Ocasio-Cortez served as an intern for U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy in his section on foreign affairs and immigration issues.
That's not really anything special.
No, but it's still a connection. Like that means something, right?
Oh, sure. But it's like something anybody could technically do if they went.
Well, yeah. If they're going to like an actual
college, yeah.
College.
Stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, still, it's. It's not as great as I had hoped.
You know, like, sure, after college, she took a job as a bartender and waitress to help her mother, who was a house cleaner and school bus driver, right? So it was her father who, like, managed to get somewhere, and he died in 2008.
Okay, well, that changes quite a bit.
That does change things a bit.
Yeah.
You can get the timeline there correctly.
Okay, no, never mind, that's... Like, only one well-off parent isn't exactly...
I mean, yeah, like in...
Like, that's not even... That's like lower middle class kind of thing.
Well, yeah, no, like, they literally started out, you know...
With nothing, yeah.
But...
I suppose, like, they had the money to send her to a good college and stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Her father became an architect before he died.
Yeah.
So that's usually a decent job.
Pretty high paying one, yeah. If you can find work.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with that kind of profession. Actually finding the work.
And anyway, still, it's probably better than most.
Well, sure. It's above the average, definitely. But it's not.
No. What I mean is, it's better than most politicians in terms of.
Way better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, most of them are literally just like from oligarch families. In America, specifically. That's also kind of what happens when there's an a minimum age limit.
For politics.
Yeah.
Isn't it just presidential candidates?
I'm pretty sure that
Because it does make a huge difference whether it's to all major positions like senators and so on.
I want to say the senators have an age, minimum age as well. I am not certain on the house.
Yeah, the United States Constitution requires senators to be at least 30.
Yeah.
And the youngest one ever. No, not ever. The youngest one currently was 34 when taking on. Oh,
So it's like it's not exactly young, I think.
No, never mind. Wait, what? Does it say current? These slimes are being really annoying. Yeah, it's current U.S. senators, right?
Yeah.
So the guy who took office as the youngest person, who's still in the office, still has that office, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Is Patrick Leahy, whatever, from Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
He is now 88 years old, so he's been.
Oh God.
He's still.
Have you?
No, not 88. Sorry, 81.
Okay.
He has been in office for 46 years.
Yeah. Have you actually looked at the age, like the age average, like the highest ages within the Senate? There's like
what do you mean?
There's like 11 people who's over 80 in the Senate.
Oh yeah. No, 5 senators are in the 80s.
But there's also a lot
of this list, and I can't tell if this list shows current ones or ones that have been there. Because this one definitely shows more than 5 that are over 80, but it also says.
Like, I remember there being more than 5, and I checked like quite recently. The super thing also counted ones that were 79, because it's the same. So many. There's like one guy.
About the longest Senate terms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the Vermont guy. He was 46 years, but like there's like 4 with 40 years.
It's so fucking ridiculous. Like, talk about the oligarchy, right?
Well, yeah, no, like.
Like, they've been in power longer than Putin has. Jeez.
Okay. Okay, that wasn't actually Wikipedia, that was like infogalactic.com. Never heard of that, but...
Yeah, it's probably decent.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of lying about something like that would be.
Exactly.
Here's age of candidacy laws in the United States.
Okay.
Federal government. President and Vice President, 35. Senator, 30. Representative, 25.
Okay.
So it's not too bad, but still.
And still, like, the whole idea of even having a minimal age is kind of...
Well, yeah, like, if you look at government... state government, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot better for some of the states, and about the same for some other states.
Of course. There's like southern states and Bible states and stuff.
Why is Ohio leaning?
What?
Ohio, like, I'm sure it's generally blue, but
It's a blue state, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, no, that also has 18 on everything except lieutenant governor, which has none on that.
Oh my god, I can become a lieutenant?
I don't know what a lieutenant governor is. Governor. Lieutenant governor.
It sounds cool.
It does. Is it like the governor's assistant or something like that?
Oh, it's probably something like that, yeah. That's literally how they should call, like, receptionists and stuff. You're the governor's lieutenant. And this is the governor commander. And it's just like, the desk receptionist. Right. The governor commander. I don't enable stuff like that. It'd be so much funner.
Yeah, no, you have to be a qualified elector/registered voter in California, but then any of them are 18.
Okay. Well, see, that's much better. Like, 18 is a fine age. Like, we should.
Rhode Island, 18 for everything. Wisconsin, 18 for everything, except you have to be like again a registered whatever voter elector.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, I assume so. Washington also 18 for everything.
But see, that's me. Like, that makes a lot more sense, right? Just keep the kids out because that's probably pretty fair. And then otherwise you just have to be qualified like the rest.
There's a lot of 21s as well, which seems fair. Like if you're gonna make your drinking age 21, yeah. Sure, whatever.
That's the old American focus on 21 being an important age.
But there's a whole lot of 30s as well.
And that's where it's a bit more iffy.
Mainly for governor and lieutenant governor.
Right. But that's just like...
I have no idea.
It's just literally just
I wouldn't know what lieutenant governor is.
But like, that's just literally just keeping young people out of office.
Yeah.
That's all it does. If you keep young people out of office, that's how you can suppress left-leaning ideas.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a very easy way and like very simple way of suppressing left-leaning ideas without actually suppressing left-leaning ideas.
Like a lieutenant governor in the former British Empire, or lieutenant governors in the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
I think the one in the Netherlands is probably closer to the American one.
I'm not sure this is what I wanted.
I feel like it's exactly what you wanted.
Lieutenant Governor United States.
That's the boring one.
What am I being attacked by?
I don't know. I'm cutting trees.
Balloon. Oh, it's a windy day. I didn't think about that.
Haven't you listened to the music?
Yeah, no, I've been listening to it. I just didn't think about it.
So what is it?
I mean, I think it's similar to a vice president. To a president, that is. So, in most cases, the lieutenant governor is the highest officer of state after the governor, standing in for that officer when they're absent from the state, or are temporarily incapacitated. In the event the governor dies, resigns, or is removed from office, the lieutenant governor typically becomes governor.
A new governor takes over. I hereby declare my lieutenant governor to be my 1-year-old child. Because there's no age limit on it.
Yeah, no, but that's not... You can't declare it.
I am the governor!
In 26 states, the governor and lieutenant governor are elected on the same ticket, ensuring that they come from the same political party. In 17 states, they are elected separately and thus may come from different parties.
I think that's a valid reason for both of them. So
among the 7 states without a separate full-time office of lieutenant governor, 2 states have a post of lieutenant governor that is filled by the highest officer of the state senate. And in Tennessee, the full title of the leader of the senate is lieutenant governor and speaker of the senate.
Okay, but what if a small town in the United States could get a dog elected as mayor? Then I think we can get a small child.
A small state that has a lieutenant governor that's a small child.
Exactly. I think we can do this. Just have to convince
the right people.
Convince the right people that a small 1-year-old child is more than fit to take over if the current governor dies. Okay, how do we convince this? By giving them candy. Okay,
Oh my
we
God.
promise every single person who votes on this candidate candy. And you know how we get this candy? Well, if we just follow the old saying, it's like taking candy from a small child. We'll take it from the small child we're trying to put into office.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that insight, we can now continue to hear that the position. Although first of all, there's some states that don't have it at all, but all the states that do have it, it's elected.
Okay.
Or then given to the leader of state senate.
What if you just...
The positions are sometimes criticized for lacking duties and power and described by political insiders as get up, read the paper, see if the governor is dead. If not, go back to sleep.
That's just like the best job in the world. You have like a fucking... in your bedroom, you have a big screen that just has the heartbeat of the governor. So when you wake up, you can check if he's still alive.
You can just like set your alarm clock to like if it flatlines for a second, you
wake up.
And my time begins. Yeah, so it's probably like some sort of like just assistant job, basically.
Yeah.
With
it's
the
like...
added exception of the assistant takes over if everything goes to hell.
It's the vice president.
Doesn't the vice president have more to do?
Not really.
Oh.
The vice president is essentially just the president's like right-hand man to do stuff for him. He doesn't really have any responsibilities
That does kind of sound like an assistant.
Exactly. All he really does is just like if the president wants something done, he goes and does it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like that's probably also underplaying in both cases. It's an assistant whom you can give the authority to use your word, probably.
You can still do that to like your receptionist or something.
I guess you could.
Yeah. And the vice president also still needs a signature and stuff if they have to make decisions.
Well, yeah, like, he needs a signature, of course, but like the point is that if you give the president's signature to just anybody, they're not going to listen. Like they need they need to check that it's a valid thing.
Yeah, but like any White House employee will probably count.
I wouldn't. Maybe like any major White House employee. I don't know. I actually have no idea. I'm not going to speak on it.
But that's not how this debate is supposed to work. Yes, it's the debate now.
Oh God. No. Yeah.
By the way, I've committed mass deforestation of the whole world while we've been speaking.
Oh no.
Yeah, yes, the CO2, it's rising. It's rising rapidly. We just like, can we just ban trees? Is that an option? Can we just like perma-ban trees? Can we like back-ban them?
No.
No, we can't back-ban trees. I feel like they've been cheating on official servers though.
I don't care.
What? How can you not care? It's cheating on the unofficial servers.
Yeah.
Blood Moon Rising? Not now.
That is less than ideal, in fact.
Yes, I just recalled home. I wasn't even anywhere close. Yep, they're coming. Can you help? Can we call back?
I'm just at the other end. Where do you want me?
Everywhere.
Oh, I see. Oh, wait, why is that door open?
Exactly.
Dude, close your door.
Everywhere.
The goddamn.
Fuck, it's the Tinkerer. Oh shit, this door's also open. Fuck away from my people.
Out. Damn, Mobot is running further out because the door was open.
God damn it.
Close the door, Dig. Now close that door. God damn it, Mobot.
Okay. I got a bloody tear already.
That's good.
Yeah, that also
Okay,
spawn
I've
another
closed all
blood.
the doors. There's 2 doors on the left of Mobot. He should be fine for now.
Okay. I just cleared them out here.
In case you wanna, you can cover up like from the top so they can't get down in here.
Sure.
There you go. Ta-da.
Okay. Wanna go down to ground level and begin just... Oh. Like, we just kind of have to farm as many of these as possible so we can get all the good loot.
I ran out of mana.
Good thing you have the big ball of death.
Yeah, the yo-yo.
Exactly.
Of death.
Of death, yes. Most deadliest of all tools. Okay, I'll jump down to the...
Or just the mini shark.
I'll jump down to the bottom ground, so we can catch a bunch of...
Oh, what's this? I broke it. It's a slime statue.
Yeah, I placed it there.
Oh, well. Hope you didn't actually calculate where the center was.
No, that's...
Okay, good. Then I had to replace it anyway.
It spawns slimes, by the way.
Why do we want it to spawn slimes?
On the roof where nobody is there, so when we need slimes, we can just go down and find them on the roof.
You may have a point.
Yeah? Oh, there's some special ones below. It's funny how easy this become after we got actual weapons.
Yeah, no, it's almost as if having weapons makes a real big difference.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it though. Because you see, I did actually get this rifle back in day 1. I just realized. We have not been.
Have you been using it?
It's the musket. It's the only weapon I use.
Yeah, no, I guess armor also makes a huge difference.
I suppose.
I don't know, like, why. Maybe it's just because you are not that good and it's just me who does all the work.
Right.
So now that I have good weapons, I can also help.
You know, you could just have said that maybe it's because we are 2 people now. And I don't have to do everything myself.
That wouldn't have been as fun.
God. I feel like that's probably the reason though. Remember, we only really care about the special monsters. They're the ones.
But might as well kill them still while I can't see any other special monsters below me.
I guess.
But they still give us money.
That's true.
The normal ones.
You know, I feel like we've fought blood moons that are a lot more dangerous than this. I don't think it was in this world. I just can't remember quite where it was.
I think that's in a different timeline.
A different time? Oh. Oh, wait, oh. That might make sense.
Yeah, it's actually, like, this timeline diverged and we never had the, what is his name? Headmaster gets so mad with us.
Did Headmaster? I don't remember any of that. Huh.
I'm time traveler, don't worry.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah. Well, I'm a timeline traveler. God
He
damn
died.
it, Goblin Tinkerer.
Mobot! Mobot, you big dum-dum. Why did you open the door?
It was just normal zombies.
They also once... They deal off damage to Blood Moon, but still.
Actually liking the Vile Thorn a lot.
Yeah, it's a good weapon.
It's just so simple to use as well. Like, you just... Like, it keeps them in place.
Yeah.
So you can just keep on spamming it at that one spot.
That is... Yeah, I guess that's true.
And you can use it through walls, which is very nice.
That is probably like one of the biggest benefits about it.
I'm almost dead.
Maybe maybe not send their face all the time is good.
Oh wait, I also have a health potion.
Hopefully. I've kind of given you quite a few of those.
Yeah, I still have.
Yeah, so our Cthulhu, like, battle arena works quite well to farm these monsters.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure of it. I should get up there, honestly.
It's fine with one. I can handle it.
Are you just killing all of them?
Yep.
Ah, damn it. I got some Eaters of Soul on me.
Oh, too far left.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, yeah, because I had no health suddenly, so I had to kind of avoid them. It's
sick.
fine. The wall you made is actually incredible. Well, okay. It kept them back for quite a while, and if I had had time to use the Wild Thorn, I could have just killed them all instantly with it.
I'm telling you, that wall, it's like the best creation we have had yet.
Yeah, maybe everybody should just build walls. Keep all the outsiders out.
Yeah, but like we built on day one, and it has saved us how many times now?
I was making a political joke.
I know.
Okay.
I'll try to continue it.
Don't be so excited about it.
There we go. This is now where I wish I had an AoE weapon.
You need more damage to be done?
Yeah, there's like 7, 8 zombies here on top of each other.
Maybe you could just have me come over and help you?
Nah. You see, then I wouldn't get all the XP, which isn't a thing. Then I wouldn't get all the money.
Ow. Ow, that hurts. Can I grapple, please? Thank you. Haha, the zombies can't get me because I'm attached to the ceiling. How did one of the zombies spawn in one of the empty apartments that haven't been built up yet?
Oh god, this is China all over again.
Yeah, it's like, what?
China has like over 1 million buildings that have only been built up half and then been abandoned.
Well, yeah, no, that makes sense. But
Makes sense?
yeah.
You know, it's like an actual serious problem because these apartments have been sold to people. People living in them.
Right. It makes sense because China is trying to expand to to being a city nation, right?
Yeah.
Incredibly fast.
Yeah, but that's more like all of the shortcuts they take that makes that a reality.
Well, yeah, no, but like it's difficult to do it that fast without taking shortcuts.
Oh yeah, like instead of using sand, to use bottles because they're way cheaper to find. Instead of having like for cement, they had to like 20 centimeters, 18 centimeters for like walkable ground. But they just do like 13 instead. That's fine. Nobody will get hurt.
Yeah, and instead of having proper companies that actually finish stuff on time, they kind of just abandon the projects from halfway through.
Oh, how about using bamboo?
I don't know how it happens.
How about using bamboo instead of metal beams?
I mean, bamboo is pretty strong. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad idea. I don't know the facts.
It is!
Okay. That's definitely a bad idea. I know all the facts.
Yeah, bamboo instead of solid steel. That's what we're looking at. It's not like aluminium would be too weak.
You know, but I don't like. I don't know how good bamboo is. Like,
it's not.
If you combine a bunch of it.
Oh, it's not even that much. They're only like as thick as the actual beams. There's like 4 of them combined. It's not even remotely close enough. Also, they make fake rebar like steel beams, like ones that are so easy to bend that you can just do it with your hands.
That sounds like safe.
Yep. Instead of using a proper concrete mix, they use one that just has way too much sand in it. So if you if you crack a hole in the outer layer of a lot of walls, you can literally just like rub the things inside and it just falls apart. Yeah. If you get through the outer layer, the actual thick layer, then you can, with your hand, you can dig your way all the way onto the other like thick layer on the other side.
Remind me to check who made every building I go to if I ever visit China.
Yeah, that well, if you stay in the tourist spots, then you'll be fine. They're also built to last forever. But these buildings,
I mean, no, like think of some of the big cities that you rarely hear about, like the 20 million people cities that you don't know what the hell is called, right?
You find these buildings in Shanghai and Beijing.
So my point is, I'm checking every single building
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah, no, Beijing has
I
like
get
100...
that, like if it's an international hotel, it's probably going to be built to slightly higher regulations.
But, much higher regulations.
But there might still be a building you just randomly walk nearby or into and stuff, you know.
That is true, yeah. One of the buildings that was just supposed to be a solid concrete building, right? Buildings like the Soviets built them. Supposed to last forever.
Fairly strong.
Incredibly strong. If you build them correctly, they'll last forever.
How do they deal with like earthquakes and stuff?
Fine, mostly.
Really? Concrete? Like concrete?
Well,
I feel like it would crack, and that's not good.
It would, but it just depends on how you build the foundation.
Right.
But still, like, no earthquakes, right? Concrete. They're supposed to be concrete buildings, solid concrete buildings like the Soviets. These buildings, if nothing happens to them, like no natural disaster, just left to be and renovated, then it's supposed to last forever, right? They literally just will never collapse. They're really, really well built, really, really strong. The Soviets knew what they're doing. That whole style, it's hella ugly, but it's really efficient. One of those buildings collapsed here like 2 years ago, and it was less than 40 years old.
Yeah, I definitely heard what you said. 2 years ago, it collapsed. It was more than 40 years old.
Less than 40 years old.
Less than 40 years old.
Yeah, so
this was one of the Chinese ones, not the Soviet built.
No, but they're supposed to be built like the Soviets. It was that kind of building they're building, a solid concrete box.
That doesn't sound completely right.
No. The way it collapsed was that they were adding an extra floor to it. And while they were waterproofing the roof, the new floor that added collapsed, and it took the whole building down with it. Just FYI, a floor collapsing in one of those, especially the top floor, wouldn't take the whole building down normally.
Yeah, no, that does sound a bit awfully weird.
Well, it's not weird, because the concrete mix was mostly sand.
What is a concrete mix supposed to be mostly?
Also sand, but not basically literally sand. Like literally, if you... This was what I talked about. You can, with your hand, like, just scratch it apart. Easily.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be like
it's supposed
powder.
to be... Yeah, it's supposed to be solid. It's concrete. That's like one of the extreme examples, right? Oh, it's right arrived. Have we... Wait, we have defeated either worlds? So he did die one of the times.
The last time, presumably.
Yeah, I would guess so then. Yeah, okay, so he has to...
And then he just died randomly while we were talking. I got tired. We were talking about we were going to defeat him today, so now he was like, nah. You know what? No. Wanna try doing it anyway, or like do we just move on?
Well, he's dead, so we can technically just move on. Like, a dragon can only spawn if he has died.
I mean, that was an easy fight. We totally didn't die a few times. And
No, we
kill him. Like, that was easy.
We nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Wanna build some more apartments then?
Where's the dragon?
In the Tinkerer's house.
Oh, right.
I just bought some...
I guess I'm building some more apartments then.
Yeah, I bought some... remember to use solid concrete or proper wood. Let's not have our house collapse on top of our citizens.
I like how we have a whole park inside of our complex, right?
Yeah.
And it's all being held up on connected to a tree on one side by two thin platforms.
And there's also 2 beams.
And there's 2 beams on that same side.
We are really good at this, okay? China should hire us. But yeah, no, that's just one of the famous examples, right? There are literally thousands of other examples of buildings collapsing. For no good reason. Like, for literally no actual reason. They're just doing like some light renovation, installing a fucking air-conditioned unit or something, and the whole thing just collapses. Everything in China is not built to last, and everything is fake. Okay, I have made the world a bit safer. Try coming over to the left side of it. Just for a second.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Where's my chair and do I... You know what, I'll just make some new ones, I don't care. I'm just cutting some wood and dumping stuff. Why do I have an iron anvil on me?
I don't know, because somebody dropped it.
Can they drop better stuff?
They dropped the zombie arm, you know, picked up.
Demon Eye banner, blood zombie statue, slime statue. I'll place it later.
Yeah.
And I have so many inventory, but I guess not right now. Where's all the wood?
We barely have any.
Yeah.
But I've just collected like a shit ton.
I have 625 in that in my chest I have.
Okay. You're keeping all the wood to yourself. That's good. So yeah, great. China very modern.
Oh yeah, I killed him inside. I never broke through, so the money is still right there. Yeah, I'm gonna break him into for the doors.
Could you come out to the left side though for a second?
I'm right here.
What? Hey, come on. See? I've been cleaning up.
You're pushing it back.
Yeah. Oh, that's not one. I'm using my magical powder. Also, they made the magical power a lot better. It isn't just a one block thing now. It's like powder you spray. You can hit like quite a few blocks with it. Look at that. Find bad corruption. One powder at a time.
Nice.
So yeah.
There's another worm.
Yeah, I love them. Guess not too happy about being pushed back. But yeah, no, like there's literally thousands of the empty projects all over China, which is like millions upon millions of residents. It's just an absolute nightmare. Can you explain to me how people can actually support China? Like, we have people here in the West that legitimately think China isn't a bad country.
Being uninformed, being stupid, having weird opinions about how people should live, and yeah, exist. That's some ways. More.
I feel like it doesn't explain half of it though, because it's like, even people who are relatively intelligent in political matters, they still think that China is like better than the United States.
Yeah, but people who seem relatively intelligent also are conservatives in the US.
Oh no, it's not the conservatives supporting China. They're the ones that.
No, I know. It's like the opposite extreme.
Yeah, they're like the ones who are anti-China mostly. Like, I find myself agreeing more with Trump on China than with like general leftists.
Yeah, I don't know, like they have some kind of idealized version of... Okay, yeah, no. I think they have some kind of idealized version of what left-wing stuff should be. So when somebody attacks left-wing stuff,
But China isn't left-wing. They're not communists.
no, and then that's why people get it wrong, because like that's the misconception, right? Everybody thinks China is like left-wing, but really they are probably more like the conservatives.
They are, thoroughly. Like the last time China was actually communist was like in the beginning of Mao's reign.
But I think like it's like people defend communist Russia as well, like the Soviet Union, right?
Yeah, but at least they were communists.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but like again, they think China is communist. They think that whatever China is right now is what the Soviet Union was, because they do have some similarities in the authoritarian aspect.
Yeah, because they're fascist. China's the fastest country.
Fair enough, but yeah, again, like people don't know that China is generally seen as a communist country. Like that's what they claim to be. So,
yeah.
And somehow people, yeah, they listen to that. Also, it's a great way for the right, like it's a great way for conservatives to go like, aha, look at these left-wing filthy communists. We should not be communists.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like if China was the only example of communism, then I can understand why nobody would support it.
And then people who are socialist, communist, whatever, left-wing, on like further left, right, they take that as an attack against their ideology, and then they have to defend China in some way. Instead of just saying that's a bad example because China is not that. China is not what we want.
Because I often hear them do that for the Soviet Union, and that's brought up. That they don't want Stalinism.
Yeah.
But China's so rarely defended, like it's so rarely like just agreed upon being shied amongst lefties. Even though even amongst those who agree the Soviet Union is bad. Or was bad. It doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know. I just have some ideas of why it could be. I have no idea why people think the way they think.
No, that's the thing. Those did make sense.
But it's just not the full story.
Yeah.
It can't be.
No. It's just like just support like Cuba or something, okay? Someone who actually was a decent example of communism. Why do you have to support like the worst of the worst?
Because Cuba doesn't sound very glamorous.
But they're communists and survive. They're still around today. They're still communist.
Yeah, and
they're like the last communist country left.
The society could be worse.
It's doing pretty damn well. After they fixed the whole like brain drain issue, they're doing pretty well. Like people aren't leaving in rows anymore. Like the intelligent people. They had a big brain drain issues in late 80s, 90s, around there. Early 20s?
Yeah.
But they fixed that. And now they're like...
They fixed it?
They fixed it
really well. Aren't people...
They're exporting doctors to other poor countries.
Yeah, but like, aren't doctors still underpaid compared to most other countries?
Well, that's more just because it's a poor country.
Okay, right. So it never had us... it never had us so much to do with... No, but like, the point was that like... lower like educated jobs had much higher pay.
Well, but not so much pay, but they got better living conditions elsewhere. Right? Because remember, Cuba's still communist. There's a lot of stuff you just get for free.
Like whenever I think, like the point was that, like the whole joke was that a doorman, whatever, would earn more than a doctor.
Yeah. Again, that was more because of how it was structurally set up, not so much as like they weren't paid. Okay, what I'm trying to say is the issue's different now. They're still paid less than other doctors, but not because of the country, but because of the valuta. Like the Cuban dollar is just not worth much, right?
Yeah.
So because the country's poor, they're still getting paid less than an American doctor because the dollar is worth a shit ton.
I mean, if the thing is that they're exporting doctors right now, it suggests that they never had necessarily like a lack of doctors, right?
Well, a lot of doctors want to work there because like a lot of doctors are very supportive of the socialist agenda.
Yeah, no, but like the point is, if you have a lot of doctors and you don't need as many, right?
Sorry,
did you say that a lot of our doctors don't want to work there?
No, doctors
they want
to. They want to.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, but like if a lot of doctors do want to work there, then they might have too many doctors. In which case, sure, like a profession that they need more of, doormen, is going to have a higher pay. That's not communist. That's capitalist.
That's an interesting point. Because yeah, even the 60s.
I don't know if that's the case, but like it sounds like it could be.
It could be, because in the 50s and 60s, the Cuba also exported doctors around the world.
Right.
That's like what they were famous for. How they exported doctors to all kinds of African countries and other socialist rebellions.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, no, because yeah, that's it. Just sounds like, you know, competitive.
Yeah, but that's because that's how like the story has been told, because it's been told from American perspective, right?
Yeah.
And that would make sense from a capitalistic model. But
exactly,
Cuba is an actual communist country.
Yeah,
it has a system of like commerce, of course. It has like some capitalist system because they're part of the world economy.
Yeah. I mean, they have tourists.
Yeah, just to buy things from other countries as well. They don't do like the Soviets where they trade stuff instead. Like when the Soviets wanted Pepsi for the first time, they just traded warships because their local currency wasn't worth anything.
So here's our local currency. Warships.
It made a lot of sense, like, because they weren't willing to give money. It was just their valuta was worth so little on the global market. Because of course it wasn't used in the global market.
Yeah.
They couldn't exactly sell off the money to collectors. Anybody wants to buy like 2 billion worth of Soviet currency as a collection? We have
it'll be worth a lot in like 50 years.
You could probably double your profit if you can find people who are willing to combine pay like 4 billion for collect items.
Yeah.
You might have a problem selling them, but they will be worth a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not. We can't guarantee that a lot of people will be interested, but the people who will be interested will be very interested.
It's they made their own cryptocurrency, but it's with real old money.
Oh my god.
That could work, couldn't it? Like on a small scale, not like this stupid thing, but like, I don't know, like in a city, in a really big city like London or New York or something. Could you like literally just take like an ancient valuta if you have like a lot of them? Let's say like the old Soviet what's it called, ruble?
Right.
That is literally worthless today. Like it has no worth today except as collect items. Let's say you have like 1 million different bills, which isn't that unrealistic. Like it wasn't exactly like the money got burned after this fall of the Soviet Union. You could probably find a vault somewhere, but there was a bunch of it in it. Okay, let's say you have 1 million of it in a vault somewhere. Could you then technically use that and then make like a physical Bitcoin or like cryptocurrency kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like it's essentially just making a currency, but your own currency, like a cryptocurrency, just like your own currency.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot more to cryptocurrencies than that, though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it a fair comparison.
No, but it's the only comparison we have, because no one else has made their own currencies, except like countries and big organizations.
And then small people who try to set up their fake countries.
Yeah, except stuff like that, but that doesn't quite go here. This is like a local currency within a country already has a currency, and it's only amongst people who agree to use the currency.
I mean, yeah, no, like, but like the problem is that it would have to be popular enough. And
don't you think if somebody says, "Okay, I have 1 million like old Soviet bills, want to make a currency?"
I don't think
I feel like that's pretty easy to sell.
No, I don't think it would get enough traction. I'm sure a few thousand people would be interested, not enough to get any businesses
all of London.
Proper sorts.
It's the only currency in London in 2 years.
Yeah,
all Soviet rubles.
New York. What do you mean dollar bills? We haven't had those. We haven't. we haven't been able to take those for years now.
No, it's only been Soviet rubles. Fuck that Bitcoin shit. Going back to ruble.
That's the thing. Bitcoin brings something new to the table, and it brings speculators to the table as well. Rubles are probably not gonna, like, suddenly fluctuate in value as much, because if you say you have 1 million of them, you have that finite amount, right? There isn't a bunch of people who are suddenly interested in it because.
But it's not the same thing with cryptocurrencies. You only have like a finite amount of them.
There's a finite amount, but that finite amount hasn't been released yet, and the interesting system that it has of keeping track of how much everybody has, that's powered by people who mine for the money, right? So it essentially pays for itself, which is kind of interesting.
What if we didn't make an authoritarian version of that and call it the ruble? Because that's a big difference here, right? Because that is like the most libertarian currency it could possibly be. Right, but how about making?
What do you mean authoritarian? You take over the US state government?
No.
And you enforce everyone.
It's an authoritarian one because it's controlled. We might even put it in like a might even call it, make it this big building that has like an organization inside of it that we can call like the National Bank. That we can hold it regulated and safeguarded and protect people who use it. So it's way better.
And we could like make an institution that keeps track of all financial transactions.
Yeah.
But instead of it being like everybody contributes to the public record, it's like a top-down public record. So one corrupt person can literally change how everybody's money situation is.
True. But every organization is then also accountable. Because everybody knows who they are and who controls everything. So it's no longer just a bunch of mystery people who nobody knows who are.
Is that good?
Well, yes, accountability is really good. Because then, then it isn't like, if something goes wrong, then we know who's to blame, and we know where it might have gone wrong. If it's a bunch of mystery people and they suddenly find like a hack or something that allows them to abuse the system.
That's where the everybody keeps track comes in. If one count doesn't match the public record, then they go like, hang on a second, this is not right. So by having everybody.
But how do they know it isn't right?
I'm not an expert on it. But blockchain stuff is.
That's how they say it, right? That's how they talk about it. But it hasn't gone wrong yet. What if somebody finds an exploit? Is there really any way to keep track of that? When it's this, also especially when it's this big.
Well, yes.
But everybody's anonymous. Everybody is just a node that nobody knows who are or where they are.
Yeah, but like that node is still enough to identify the node, and then they can say that node is wrong.
Okay, let's say they find a way to block that node then. But why not just go and make a new one, do the exact same thing again? You can actually update the system.
Let me see. Each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, a timestamp, and transaction data, generally represented as a Merkle tree. Timestamp proves that the transaction data existed when the block was published in order to get into its hash. As blocks each contain information about the block previous to it, they form a chain, with each additional block reinforcing the ones before it. Therefore, blockchains are resistant to modification of their data because once recorded, the data in any given block cannot be altered retroactively without altering all subsequent blocks. So yes, you can potentially, like, if there's nothing else in this, like if we just consider this part, then you can potentially make one transaction that's fraudulent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And get that into the public record, in which case you have successfully defrauded everybody. But anything that is already in the public record is in the public record of everyone. So
sure,
you can't just.
It's not doable to fuck up the whole system, and nobody knows who you are, and you literally can't be called for doing it.
Blockchains are typically managed by a peer-to-peer network for the use of a publicly distributed ledger where nodes collectively adhere to a protocol to communicate and validate new blocks. It has a high Byzantine tolerance and is generally considered secure by design. Byzantine fault.
Byzantine is complex, essentially.
Yeah, the Byzantine fault is that a computer system, particularly distributed computer systems, if one component fails, and there's imperfect information on whether a component has failed. So basically,
it's Byzantine bureaucracy.
If something goes wrong and you don't know that thing has gone wrong, then you have a Byzantine fault.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because it's Byzantine
well, essentially,
it's
somebody does something
system.
to cheat, right? And you can't find out that they've cheated. That's a Byzantine fault, and it has a high tolerance of that. Generally.
It's generally,
the thing is, okay. The thing is,
I'm not saying it's secure. I'm just saying that something could still happen. And there's literally no way of stopping it from happening if they somehow find a way.
I'd not say there's literally no way.
But who controls it? So if anybody controls the actual system, then you're already broken the whole system. The whole idea is
no, but that's the thing. The
charge.
system is collectively controlled. So, or like the ledger is a public, like collectively kept between.
Sure.
I don't know how they, but like the thing is, I'm not exactly sure how it works.
Actually, like, did anybody push an update to it?
Well, yeah, no, like something like that. I'm assuming they retain some kind of control in case of. But
then it's already then it's already wrong. Like, did they go against the whole idea of it?
I don't know. Hang on a second. Okay, so... Okay, here, unauthorized spending, security. Unauthorized spending is mitigated by Bitcoin's implementation of public-private key cryptography. For example, when Alice sends a Bitcoin to Bob, Bob becomes the new owner of the Bitcoin. Eve, observing the transaction, might want to spend Bitcoin Bob just received, but she cannot sign the transaction without the knowledge of Bob's private key.
Yeah, that's like basic of it. Everybody can see transactions, but nobody can actually mess with them. And that's how you know like what's going on. You just can see who it's going to or from.
And that's where the security lies. You can't like add to the.
But how's the security? You can still like. That doesn't stop anything from like somebody sending like 1 million fake bitcoins.
Well.
Okay, let's say a fraudulent transaction happens, right? And then somebody sees it happening. What can they do now? Like by viewing the database or whatever.
No, because there's this thing. I'm pretty sure, like, if I understand it correctly, every account, whatever Bitcoin account, let's say, or like address, I guess, is what they call it. A Bitcoin address is like it's public in the ledger how much money they have, I assume, and then the anonymization happens in that nobody knows who that is, right?
Yeah, because you can't.
So
if you don't change your name to something knowable, like some companies does, then there's
I think the address is not.
You can.
Like, I think the address is not a name that you choose. I think that's a number that you assign, like a key.
You can't change it. I know that the owner of the Silk Road, the black market on the internet, the biggest one.
Yeah.
He changed his Bitcoin address to a noble one.
Right.
It was because a bunch of it got leaked out after a big, after he tried sending hitmen after people and a big scandal happened.
Okay, well, either way, point is that the idea is that you're anonymous by your account. Like, it's like a bank, whatever, right? Your account number is known to everyone you send money to. In this case, it's the whole system, right?
Yeah.
But if they don't know who owns that account number, they don't know you.
Exactly, yeah.
But the point is that like, your wallet is public information. So if you try to spend more than your wallet has, so you try to suddenly insert money into the wallet that you don't have.
What does that help? Why have anybody ever noticed that?
Why would? Because the system checks itself. Like, it checks between if there's a discrepancy between whatever you're saying to the system that you should have and what the system, everybody collectively, thinks you have. You have to hack into the whole system of everyone. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure there's ways of doing it.
Exactly,
but,
that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we're misunderstanding each other. I'm literally talking about like doomsday scenario.
A doomsday scenario, you hack it into everybody's Bitcoin wallets, or like every reliable
you find a crack
major ledger, like so that you're the one. The problem there is that it's very difficult to do, because if I don't...
Yeah, of course, that doesn't matter. It has been done. What can they do now? That's the question.
Well, I mean, you can just stop accepting it as a currency. That's probably what would happen, you know. News of
so there's no actual security.
No, okay.
Because
I don't know.
If that happened to a bank, that money they just wouldn't be valid money anymore. And everybody who got their money stolen would just get it reimbursed.
Okay, so wait, what would happen? Let's see. What would we search for that? What would happen?
I think that's a very interesting point, because like in a normal bank with normal currencies, that literally can't happen because the money doesn't exist outside of the system. It isn't just because it's invalid, it's just like because the system controls it. It controls what is actual money and what isn't. By the way, I'm just building like a bridge while we're doing this. just so something is happening. What happened here? Doomsday scenario, something cracks the whole system, and they control it now.
But you know, but again, a doomsday scenario. There's always a doomsday scenario. A major bank who you trust to oversee transactions is fully corrupted. Same thing. They can change everything, and the only way you can get around that is...
No, that's the problem. They can't. If the bank suddenly takes all the money from you, that's why we have a national bank. It just gets reimbursed.
If the national bank is corrupted.
Well, but then we know who's the problem, then we can just go and remove them.
If the people who are supposed to remove them is the problem, like
that's not a valid point at all, because then we can say that the guy who made Bitcoin was corrupted. We're not going that to those extremes. We're talking about the system in place.
No, because
that's the exact same. Wait, no, that's the exact same, because here's the thing. Bitcoin isn't controlled by anyone. The national bank is controlled by, well, our currencies, actual currencies, controlled by the bank system, right? We know exactly who they are, we know exactly where they are, and we can go in. If they somehow mess up the whole system, we can go and get them out of there. Get them out of the system, and we can just fix it again. It's all accountable.
No, if the records have been removed, you can't just fix it again.
Well, yes, you can. That's why
How, if the records are removed?
We have intelligence services and stuff.
And they're supposed to have the records somehow?
Also, removing those records isn't something anyone can do.
It's not easy, but like why not? If they're the ones who are no, look, if the bank is trusted for their records, put in some fake records, remove the real ones. How is somebody supposed to know that they're wrong? And even if they do know, how do they then find the real ones? Like if all they can see is their fake records.
Well, go in and find out. Because that has never happened. And where it hasn't been called afterwards.
Well, that has never happened because it's basically impossible to do. You have to corrupt the whole fucking system.
Yes.
Sounds similar to a different case.
No, because this is something one person could do. Alone. While this is something requires like a giant conspiracy. If somebody finds a crack in the code, that's that's theoretically way simpler than having a giant conspiracy where all national banks are involved and you control the whole economical system.
I don't think so.
How not? So you're saying manipulating thousands of people, no, more than thousands, tens of thousands of people, and having them all agree with you is easier than...
But that's exactly what you're supposed to do in the other case, because again, no, everybody is the ledger.
No, that's the problem. They are theoretically, yes, but if you actually find a crack in the code, like if you find some way of manipulating the code so you can like circumvent this, then you've gotten in and you can do whatever you want, and nobody else has to be on your side. You can do it completely alone. But this is completely impossible with a centralized economical system, like our normal one, our normal currencies. Because you need more people. There isn't one person that could
find a crack in the code and suddenly have access to everything. That doesn't make sense.
What? Why not? It's code. It's all written by someone. Like someone could easily have made a mistake somewhere and it just hasn't been caught yet. It's all programming. And it's all human made by a few individuals. And yes, it might be that everybody has access to like the outer layer stuff.
That applies to online banking systems as well.
No, because online banking systems aren't like the actual system itself. They're just a way for us to interact with the banks without having to go and visit them.
No, like
all money that is in our banks right now is not real. That money doesn't exist. It's just a guarantee that we can use it if we need it.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
that's my point.
So if one bank suddenly abuses that, all of that money just immediately isn't a thing anymore. Like they just get invalidated, and all of the money that you had as an individual would be reimbursed by the bank. Because it never was, you never lost anything. You didn't actually lose anything. All you lost was a number in a screen somewhere that was just your like little indication of what you guaranteed from the bank.
And if the big bank who looks over that, the national bank, is the one who has got the problem?
Well, it's the government institutions that'll take care of it afterwards if any banks fails. That's the thing, like with normal banking, your money isn't digital. There is no code that is actually your money. And the whole system isn't like programmed either. It's a system of thousands upon thousands of individuals and institutions.
I don't think, like, I don't know how Bitcoin works. I just don't, it doesn't quite make sense. But...
You died.
Yeah, I noticed.
Well, why doesn't it make sense? That this is the inherent flaw with the Bitcoin. Or like any virtual currencies. and why they aren't as safe as a normal currency.
I don't think that's the case. But like, I have no idea. You're just going based on assumption of how it works.
No, No, I have read up on this stuff. I'm not talking out my ass.
Tell me how it works then.
What works?
Like, you're just saying there's this mysterious code that controls everything.
Okay, now you're just playing dumb. It's a program. It's coding.
No, yeah,
it's a transaction.
In any transaction that happens, and all records of transactions, and...
No, that's such a giant... Okay, that's because you don't understand how the actual banking system works, though. There is no singular code. There's no, like, thing you can hack into and gain access to all money. There is nowhere where you can just, like, manipulate the numbers and suddenly you have unlimited money. Because everything that's digital is just guarantees. None of that is actually the system. It's just a way we can interact with it and easier to do, and it's a guarantee to show what you have.
But
the actual money, the actual system, it's like the real thing that is the currency is physical. It's most of the time it's gold or some other kind of reserve that is the value, that is the money that you have a guarantee to.
Yes, but if you have control over the creation of records of where the money goes,
then yes, you might be able to manipulate it slowly. But there's so many people that are in there, that are hired up, that we all know who they are, that keep track of stuff as well. This is why, like, the kind of the nice thing with Bitcoin also comes in, where, you know, you also have other people checking up. Now we just have people we know who are. Everybody is public record who they are, if they work within that industry. And we have intelligence agencies and stuff also keep an eye out for it, who are less public record, but who the government knows who are. No one in that system is a secret. Everybody, like, all of those people can be found relatively easily if something goes wrong.
But that's my point is that the other system...
Anonymity is bad for such a system like this. For the ones controlling it. But once using it, anonymity can still be good. But there we come into a whole other issue with crime and stuff. But...
I have my... what did I have real quick? I don't know how to explain this. A system where somebody can be held accountable versus a system where everybody's accountable.
That's not how the system works, though. Because nobody can be held accountable, because nobody knows who they are. I mean, that's not about being held accountable. It requires the person to be knowing, to be knowable. You have to be able to find that person. While in every single one of the cryptocurrency systems, the whole idea is that you literally can't. It's impossible. Which isn't completely true in some systems, but that's the idea.
Yeah, but like if you hack into the central bank, you can be an unknown person hacking into it. You don't have to be accountable.
Sure, but what can you do?
Change records?
To do what? As soon as they get checked up with the fiscal records, or the local records, they'll quickly figure out this isn't right. And they'll just be changed again, and everything's back to normal. And then, like, the intelligence services will figure out who the hell did that.
You're saying it as if it's impossible to make people not notice that you make changes.
Yeah. In the actual core system itself. It is next to impossible.
It's next to impossible, yes. Not impossible.
No, but the thing is, okay, let's just make an argument then that it's as easy to make a change in the national system as it is in the crypto system, right? Let's say it's as easy in both of them, right? If something goes wrong in the national system, if somehow somebody gets access, they manage to change records. Let's say they've done it for 10 years now, and then after 10 years they get spotted, right? With the national system, we can now go in, and we can look at the records, and we can figure out what they have done, how this worked, and hopefully fix it, right? Even if we can't see that, we can at least try to rectify what mistakes possible, because we have people in charge that can that actually have access to control the whole to everything, to fix it, right? With the crypto system, there's no one that can, well, change anything. The whole system works on everybody, like everybody controlling the same amount, or everybody controlling everything, however you want to say it. But nobody can actually change it. Nobody can actually fix it if it's later, except just stop using currency. It's like the exact same scenario could be presented to Bitcoin. Let's say somehow somebody finds a crack in the code, they abused it for 10 years, now it gets found. Everybody knows. The whole world knows that Bitcoin this has happened to Bitcoin. Okay? 10 years after, exact same system, exact same problem or exact same disaster as with the national bank. What could the Bitcoin world users would ever do to fix this issue? Who can do anything to really fix it? Because as far as I'm aware, there's no one can. Because nobody has that power over the currency.
And how would it have high Byzantine tolerance? That's just what doesn't make sense.
Oh, because the coding is really well made. The coding by coders do. Like it is nearly impossible to get in.
No, but
and if you make a change in your own node, nothing happens. Like that's the whole idea, right? That the whole nodes, you have to change everything for it to actually do anything, because otherwise the nodes will be broken up.
And
I'm not saying it's not. It has really high tolerance. Like it is nearly impossible to get in. But if they do, what can be done?
I just don't see how they could compromise the whole system.
Doesn't matter. I can't see how you compromise the national bank system either. But I can see how they can fix it again if it happens.
Well, how can they fix it? Like, if a majority of records, or like you can see what records have been changed if you realize these records were changed, or like these records were made rather in a wrong way, or these records were changed, or whatever. Like, it's impossible, basically impossible to change some records, because you have to change everybody's records almost, or at least a large majority of the important records, right?
No, which is that's the thing.
Very difficult to do.
That's the thing. Doesn't matter because you can you just like anybody who's been affected by it just get their things reimbursed and everything returns back to normal. And somebody might have stolen everything, but
no. What I'm saying is that what you could do maybe is then make your fake records, right? Make new fake records.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, still I'm assuming there's some sort of authority on the system.
On Bitcoin? No. That's the thing, there isn't. There is none. That's the problem I have with it.
No, but like, doing something illegal is still illegal. The government can still go in and do stuff, I'm assuming.
Well, that's the currency. You can't touch the currency.
No, they can't touch the currency. Well, yes, they can touch the currency. In fact, they can't touch the system as a whole. No, but in cases where criminal people have had illegal money and they've used Bitcoin to store that illegal money, they've taken control over the Bitcoin wallets. Right. In some cases, if you keep the Bitcoin wallet secret, then it's very difficult to do anything. Right?
The CIA has actually found ways to track transactions back to the people that use them.
There we go. So so it's not like yes, I will agree. It's way more difficult to do anything about it, and in some certain cases it would be completely impossible. But in return, it's just way less likely that anything will ever happen.
I don't think it's as likely. I think it's more likely, but both of them are very, very unbelievably unlikely. I can completely agree. Something like 1 in a quadrillion or something insane, right? Like this impossible odds.
Well, yeah, no, impossible odds are no. Okay, so there are concepts of stuff that is literally so unlikely to happen that if it happens, it is just considered cheating. Like it will not have happened.
But that's the same as with National Bank. It will not have happened. That one even has like thousands of years of proof. Well,
national banks have been corrupted before.
Not the system itself, just individual parts.
Not the whole system, no. But like, there's been corruption in it before. I think this adds more protection because it.
For minor stuff, sure. Yeah, for minor stuff it does.
Minor stuff, but also
but not for like the whole system being taken over.
Here's something I see on the idea. There's a problem on the distribution of ledgers with Bitcoin. Here's like a whole article someone wrote in this. The ledger, as the ledger grows, it's impractical to download and constantly update, and it creates a gross inefficiency in the verification process of the ledgers of the transactions. Yeah, so they concentrate ledgers, I think. Or if is that one solution to the problem? I don't know. A concentrated ledger, so you have a few important ledgers that are like the general guidelines for everyone. That would make the system less safe because now like this, a smaller space that has to be compromised. But the way in which Bitcoin checks that when you make a new record that it's real is by the mining process, right? When each chain is mined, the transactions are verified and added to the master ledger. Mining is...
So that's how everything is created or done.
Yeah, no, mining is how it. So mining is how it checks.
But that's the third person.
New records.
That's the third person, like the extra one that's over. So every transaction has 3 people, right? The sender, the receiver, and the miner, or the creator, whatever you call them. Or 3 nodes, if you will. Since it is now, it isn't. The person itself that's important, it's just...
Yeah, okay, so... Requiring a proof of work to accept a new block to the blockchain. The mining process involves identifying a block that when hashed twice with SHA-256 yields a smaller number than the given difficulty target. While the average rework requires increases in inverse proportion to the difficulty target, a hash can always be varied by high by executing a single round of double SHA 256. Yeah, so the concept here is that a majority consensus in Bitcoin is represented by the longest chain, which required the greatest amount of effort to produce. In the most, it does require the greatest amount of effort to produce. Like, chance thing, sure, like you could say that somebody has gotten the longest, longest chain without, but that it's something that's so unlikely that it's not going to happen, right? And if a majority of computing power is controlled by honest nodes, the nodes chain will grow fastest and outpace any competing chains. Yeah. To modify a pass block, an attacker would have to redo the proof of work of that block and all blocks after it, and then surpass the work of the honest nodes. Well, yeah, that's the point of, like, you cannot, like, once a node has been accepted, you cannot change it, basically.
Yeah, it's unbelievably difficult to get into, like, to crack the system.
But I mean, the point is that you have the honest node, you have the consensus. Like, you have the longest chain. You can theoretically, if somebody has like some kind of, I don't know. The thing is, couldn't let's say somebody makes $1 million worth of Bitcoin for their own personal thing. If they find out that this is a fraudulent account, they can just not accept money from that, right?
Yeah, sure, but they can send it to another account.
Yeah, and that, but everybody would, but the whole system would know that money has been sent over to the other account. Otherwise, they wouldn't know that the other account has the money.
Oh, that's how they try to convert it. I see.
I think that's how it would work, at least. So,
well, that will kind of make sense that the system itself.
But like, yeah, no. But what you're saying, like taking over the system, like the whole idea of there being an issue in the code doesn't make sense, because how the, like, what the code does is communicate between the ledgers, as far as I'm aware, like. Well,
that's also the point of strike in the middle of communication.
Yeah, but
because that's where you can get it to communicate something wrong.
I think that's something you can roll back.
But who can?
The longest chain.
So the code.
No, not the code. I mean, the code can be changed by someone, I assume, but the code is not what determines who has the money, right? It's the chain. So if the code is wrong somehow, communicating wrong, that's not, like, that'll not be, like, I think there are checks in place to make sure that if it's,
but who checks
if the code communicates wrong, but somebody, I don't know.
No, nobody does. Nobody's in it. It's all anonymous.
I'm sure. No, but, like, I'm sure the code can be edited.
I don't think it can. That's the thing. I really don't think it can.
But I mean, no. But look, the system. Like, there's no reason why you couldn't have a Bitcoin ledger that's printed out as a physical document, as far as I can tell.
Well, sure, but there's no institutions that can have that.
No, but point is that the communication is not, like, the communication. I don't know if the communication is what makes Bitcoin. I think the communication is, like, you can choose a communication system to use, and you can choose between them, and some are less reputable than others, I suppose.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
There are different ways to buy, like, there are different services that allows you to buy and sell bitcoins from it.
Exactly. So I assume that the same way
Yeah, that was how. By the way, that was how the CIA got could track people.
and that's how I assumed that it's the same as having a transaction, like a company that handles transactions.
Yeah, which all all transactions are handled by companies.
Exactly. So, and the idea of how you find out, like whether like something has gone wrong is in that company. Then, if that code is wrong, and I'm sure they are then responsible for the code.
But if we go to that point, yes, like that's also how we can like find people who have used it for criminal purposes.
And I'm there might be some other way that I don't know at all how it would work, but the only way I can think of that you could actually have control of the Bitcoin system, not just how the Bitcoins are transferred between people, is by having the longest chain and having that be a disreputable chain. So that means that you have to have not disreputable, but like a, well, you know, and like a dishonest chain, whatever, right? And so you have to have majority of computing power.
I must admit, I didn't take into account the actual transactional like companies to take care of the transactions.
That's the thing.
Because that changes quite a bit.
I'm thinking making a system where everything is reliant on one piece of code is insane. I don't think they could have done that. And everybody
that's
was
also
like,
why
this is a great idea.
That's also why it seems so insane to me, because like relying on code doesn't make any sense.
But it's because you're making it an abstract concept, which is like one system, and it's somehow online, so therefore it is code that controls it, right? But I guess the system itself is more abstract than that. It's just the idea of information. And information does not necessarily have to be handled by one system.
Yeah, no, right. Because as soon as we put in transactional companies, then we suddenly have people who can also be held responsible and accountable. If a transaction goes through them, they will also see it. And again, that explains how the CIA get access to the information. Because they then also hold quite a bit more information than the ones doing the transactions. But now we're just coming into a point where it's just becoming a normal currency.
I mean,
because this point
like, no, yeah, like the difference is that it's accountabilities or like checking of well, like how it checking how what is right, like having the ledger is not controlled by any single arbitrary institution. It is simply controlled by the majority of computing power combined.
Well, that's the whole problem. That's not controlled by institution, but this is why we brought in the transactions companies that actually take care of the transactions.
Well, yeah.
Like Coinbase and stuff.
But it also so yeah.
So how does try looking up? How does Coinbase work? What do they actually do?
Coinbase is an interesting.
Coinbase is like, I'm pretty sure they're the biggest.
I should get my stuff by the way. Like actually finally.
Yeah, it did die.
I totally didn't lose like 20 gold or something.
God damn it. Well, it was all in the name of debate.
Okay, you probably picked up a few of my items, I think.
I still the wood, but I threw the rest back.
Yeah, I have 3 empty spots. But yeah, no, I'm in a house now.
I'm also looking up how it actually works. We should also look it up. How does it work? There we go. What are we looking at here? Jesus. All cryptocurrencies currently have a combined value of around 2 trillion. Just FYI.
Right.
Okay, what are we looking at here? How to use, not how to use. I want the backbone. I want to know how hell this actually works.
Well, okay, look up how do cryptocurrency exchange platforms work.
That's actually, well, you know, I get specialized. I'm still using Google.
Yeah. How do cryptocurrency exchanges work?
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of different ones.
Just because it has to be. Also,
Okay, so like a
glad to hear
sorry.
that our mad ramblings is actually entertaining.
Okay.
Asimnor has been listening for about half an hour, and he has found the conversation very interesting.
That's good.
Yeah, at least it's saying someone our mad ramblings.
Who knew it? All it took to have an interesting discussion is know nothing.
Yeah, talking about something we know very little about. Like I know an okay amount about actual national banking, but cryptos
okay,
are
so
still.
as far as I can read, a normal cryptocurrency exchange is basically like any normal exchange, like a stock exchange, for instance.
Yeah.
So however those work, they're also decentralized and hybrid exchanges. It's a peer-to-peer network without any central verifying authority.
Yes, that's the basic one, right? That's what
yeah,
it's all built around.
Well, yeah, it's appealing because it operates in a spirit closer to the foundation ethos of the blockchain.
Yeah.
It might also allow you to pay fewer fees as you exchange various currencies, whatever. Theoretically speaking, it should also be more secure from intrusions by hackers.
Which makes sense.
And there's also hybrid ones. I mean, I guess the thing is that the only thing you lose. So I don't like with the decentralized one. Would anybody be held accountable? Would the company be held accountable?
No, that's the thing. That sounds like there's no company at all.
Decentralized cryptocurrency exchange.
It's like it's just straight up two people or two nodes.
How do? Okay. Hey.
Oh, oh, what has happened?
Okay.
It's broken?
What?
Oh, it hasn't. Okay, it's just YouTube's telling me that the no audio bitrate has been sent. But I just listened and no, it's still running fine. I think. It's running.
Okay.
It is running fine. I can hear you speaking. It's fine.
There's several types of DEXs available to users, but the main feature that is common to all of them is that orders are executed on-chain. I don't know what that means. An on-chain order book DEX implies that each order and each transaction is recorded on the blockchain. This requires lots of network nodes and hence seems rather impractical as operations often cannot be performed real-time. Off-chain order books such DEXs cannot be called entirely decentralized as records of transactions are carried out of blockchain, which may require the third party to be involved. Some specialists call such exchanges hybrid, since they combine the functions. Automated market makers. These are protocols that provide liquidity to specific markets through automated algorithmic trading. This model doesn't require any order book.
I finally changed the title, so now we can just talk as much more.
Okay, the purposes of decentralized and centralized exchanges are the same. The centralized exchanges are managed by a definite organization or individual who is responsible for the protection of the user's personal data and funds. These entities have absolute control over the exchange and make decisions on the exchange's functions and development themselves. So that's the point. That's where the centralized exchanges become the third party that, in essence, decide what is correct and what is.
It's saying
The decentralized platforms are managed in an automated manner, and the participants are often involved in the process of decision making. These exchanges provide the technical possibility for the direct interaction of the participants and voting for or against important proposals. Currently, a centralized model. Pros of decentralized exchanges. Anonymity.
I think they're pretty obvious, right? It's just that.
Yeah. There are some legal requirements that cannot be neglected by central authorities, but they don't work in the case of a truly decentralized platform. Of course, the legislative system will adapt to this kind of exchange with time, but now, thanks to DEXs, it is possible to trade in a completely anonymous manner. Security. Perhaps the biggest problem with centralized exchanges is the risk of being hacked, as the central storage of users' funds turns into a honeypot for any attacker that managed to get through.
Sure, but you also have someone who can see it.
DEXs have no access to users' funds, which not only lowers the risk of hacking attacks, but also lessens. So decentralized also lessens the interface from the third parties. The funds will not be frozen, the withdrawals will not be delayed or denied, and the exchange will not be blocked by legislative authorities. Cons of decentralized exchanges. Also, it's cheaper, but yeah, cons of decentralized exchanges. User experience, liquidity. Decentralized exchanges struggle with liquidity. They support diverse trading pairs, while the number of users is much lower. Okay, well, that's just a trading thing. Transaction speed is slower because you have to get it through the blockchain nodes. Okay. Support. DEXs don't have customer support that is able to influence the transactions or the user's accounts. If anything goes amiss, users will have no one to assist them. Despite these obstacles, DEXs are still much more reliable and safer when compared to centralized platforms.
But why?
Because they are. If you have, you can fix issues that have happened, but you're much more likely to have issues versus you can't fix issues, but issues are very unlikely. I guess that's the comparison, right?
That seems fair, yeah.
And well, yeah, like if you have an issue in a decentralized system,
there's no help. You're just fucked.
You can't go to anyone and say somebody stole my money.
Exactly. There's no guarantee. There's no nothing that can help you.
If the whole system is taken over, of course, then collectively you can just deem the system not,
Well, yeah, but that's also that's the case we want to never have happen.
Exactly, but that's the thing. So you get higher, but that's the thing. You get higher security at the loss of
being fucked if anything happens, or if
the loss of support.
Yeah, even something simple as you getting scammed. Right, you're not getting your money back if you get scammed and you use Bitcoin in a using decentralized version. Your money isn't guaranteed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So while if you used still Bitcoin but use the centralized model, your money would be guaranteed. As the service, well, as long as the service has a user agreement that guarantees it, right? That they will say, okay, this transaction was probably not right or something, or they can, if you can make a proper case that you've been scammed, they can do something. There's some help to be got, right? At least theoretically.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like right now they are so new that the legal status of them has not really been decided yet, right?
That depends from country to country.
That depends on country to country.
In El Salvador, Bitcoin is an official currency. And has
yeah, but that's also just Bitcoin. But like, you also have to remember, Bitcoin can also be centralized, like used through centralized exchanges, right? And non-Bitcoin stuff can also be used through decentralized. I'm sure. Well, I mean, it probably has to have some kind of blockchain stuff. Otherwise, it's not really
safe
in blockchain.
Yeah.
No, like otherwise, it's not decentralized. That's
right. Yeah.
I mean, unless you have some other way of decentralizing the money and transactions.
Yeah, but let's just say what we have right now. Yeah.
Yeah. But the point is that that specific part may not be legally considered yet in any country, or like in the process of working it out, because there's a huge problem in responsibility. Who is responsible if a violation is found?
Well, yeah, that's the whole point I've been making for this whole time.
But yeah, again, that's my point was that not all Bitcoin is like that, but also no, but like I don't like. Yeah, no. If a violation is found, there's no like there's no one you can assign as responsible. But my point is also that if a violation is found, you might still be able to fix it. Not just because you can't make somebody responsible doesn't mean that you can't necessarily fix it.
But how? There's an answer yet to how to fix it if it's this decentralized one.
And that's why I'm like, unless the government makes a rule that they can step in and change stuff, then I'd say that there's probably no way. Like, but my point is that
then we're getting somewhere.
If enough people say that we want this thing to be changed, then that thing is changed.
But
like
how?
If the majority holder of computing power says that this node is wrong, they hold the power. Then that node is wrong.
How would they do it?
That is a great question.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
But you could make like a public vote among like the users of the blockchain.
But who can then do anything? Let's say everybody agrees. Like every single user agrees.
Again, and that's why the authority is whoever is the highest authority that is compared to. So in Bitcoin's case, right, that's like the way in which it worked was that the majority computing power will get the most work done.
Okay.
So the most work collectively by all of that computing power. If they change something in their like chain, right? So if all of those go together and agree to change that chain, or at least you can make a new, like if let's say half of them don't want to, but even if they like split off and have a different chain, then the other one, if that other one still has majority, then they can make their new chain, and that is then recognized, right? But theoretically, I don't know.
No, but that's the thing. Like now we're just making something new, though. So we're still coming around to the point where you just can't fix it.
I mean,
if it goes wrong, it just isn't fixable.
If the money has already been spent, you can't reverse it.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Without the access of the government making.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So yeah, because the actual like centralized bank can just change the number and it's fixed. Just to say it like in simple terms, right? it's a lot more complicated in real life.
That is true. No, that is true.
They can, yeah.
That is, and I like, yeah, I guess we talked past each other, because what I mean is not that they, like, you can just do that with Bitcoin. What I mean is it's not impossible to do that. It's just very it's not very practical. You have to have, like, well, yeah, everybody going like, yep, no, this transaction should be reversed, and the government somehow enforcing that, right?
Yeah, so there are no systems in place to do it currently.
There are no systems in place currently, and I don't think there will be any systems in place. I don't think that's a concern.
No, it also goes against the whole idea.
Again, yeah. I mean, but the thing is that the safety, like the security it provides, outweighs that.
I don't know. Does it?
I mean, if it is really that secure that it's like, if it's so secure that it's an impossible event that it gets hacked, well, yeah, then it quite obviously does, right? And then it's just a question of, is it really as secure as it theoretically could be?
Okay, that's fair point to make.
Because, like, the abstract concept of the system, right, is theoretically
impossible
as secure as it gets, basically.
Yeah. But then again, then the point is can be made that is the exact same way for the national bank. It's also theoretically as secure as it can possibly be. It is also theoretically impossible to break.
I'd argue a national bank is easier to break.
No, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if you can argue that, because there still stands that it is currently the theoretically as great as as secure as it can be.
Okay, fair enough. If that's what I mean, but if that's what you mean, but like, what I mean is it can be broken, and it has been broken, and
no, it hasn't. Our current one hasn't been broken. The actual system itself.
Not the actual system itself, but my point is that to break the system, you have to do less. You have to change. You have to do less things.
Okay. I think it's fair to say that you have to do less to do like I'll call it minor changes compared to like a total takeover, right? Like it's easier to steal like 1 million from the nationalized system than it is to steal 1 million from the Bitcoin system, right? Yeah. But to actually break the whole system, to completely take over the system, it's easier to break the Bitcoin system than it is to break the national system completely.
Well, to break the system completely, unless there's some way we can't think of, it requires that you have majority work done. And how are you going to do that without majority computing power? How are you going to get majority computing power without, you know? Well, there's a question of...
There's some way of finding like a crack in the code to do that. Still, even with everyone else, even if it's like all of the actual centralized transaction services, the ones that are accountable, even their things are still just code, because it's just nothing like real life about it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but then you have to... Breaking into one centralized system is a security risk, but that is insanely difficult to do. Now do that with every single...
Yeah, but the difference is that is not how our national system works. There is there's no system you can break into that actually matters.
Well, yes, it's the same. You can break into every single transaction company, and like a company that handles every exchange. If you break into every exchange,
no, but I wouldn't kill the system, because all they're doing is just getting allowance to use, like to transact the like guarantees, the virtual currencies. Because the virtualized version of our currency isn't real, isn't the currency.
I know, but by the time you put a stop to something where everything is compromised, you can have no idea what's going on. You'll have to revert like to a point where you don't think it's compromised, right?
But it's reversible.
At which point, that's impossible because a lot has changed at that point.
Also, it doesn't matter to revert it because you can just ignore it and continue. There's nothing been stolen. You can just everything that's like make sure as long as nobody has any complaints, you just back to normal again.
I mean, yeah, but that's just then because you're printing more money.
Well, no, that's the thing. Because like the way we print money is actually printing it. The virtual currency, we don't like that one is theoretically infinite. It's just a guarantee, and it doesn't matter if there exists more of it out there. Also, that's how like that's one of the big weaknesses in the digital system, like even the national like bank's digital system. Like technically, inflation wouldn't go up, for example, just because more digital money exists. Because that digital money can exist outside of the knowing system, and as long as nobody knows it exists, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. Because
yeah, I know,
inflation
but
is just a concept.
Yeah, but
it doesn't
like
it's a real thing.
Somewhere along the line, it's going to cause inflation because you can't just say to 10 people that you each have $100, but really the actual pool of money is $100 in total. Because if all of them spend their $100, then suddenly you have an issue. You realize that hang on a second, and that's when you have to then print more money to cover that.
No, that's the opposite. That's why we just delete money like we do. Like we do take money out of the system when inflation gets too high and stuff.
Yeah, but if you're just deleting money, then somebody's missing it.
No, that's not how it works. Last year, the United States deleted about $2.3 billion, something like that. Just took it off.
How does it?
But that's the thing. That's why the system works like incredibly well as it does. They took it from no one. That was no one's money. Because everybody still has their own guarantees for what the money they have.
What money is that then?
That is the control for inflation. That's how we control inflation. We either print or delete money. That's the whole point of like that's one of the major jobs of the national bank normally. It's just to control inflation by deleting or printing more money.
Yeah, okay, but
like this is just shredding it or burning it.
Let's say you have a bunch of let's say you have a bunch of stolen digital money, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot track it back to somewhere,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. That guy has unlimited money now, but the actual money that matters, the one that controls inflation, is still the same because it's the physical currency, it's the physical value. Digital currency isn't what controls inflation.
No, yeah, well, yeah, but like if you can still, okay, so you steal $1 million worth of somebody's bank account, right?
Yeah.
And you print it. Like you not print it, you take it out and convert it into actual physical money.
Well, there the problem is that you're taking from someone else. Now let's not make that account because there we can just get the money back for the person, and then the other money, the other version of the money, will be counted as fake, as they'll just take a thousand. Like if we know how much money has gone out, like $1 million been taken from someone, they'll just go and delete $1 million in like the bank somewhere or something.
But that's the point. If you make an account that has $0, whatever, and you fake it having $1 million, sure, you're not taking anybody's specific money, but then when you go and use that money on services, those services have been expended.
Yeah.
So.
But it doesn't actually affect anything because there's no record of that ever happening, except that money been spent, but there's no record of that money being fake.
Well, yeah, no, but in that case, then those companies that have like hang on a second, if there's no record of that money being fake, then you have essentially added money to the economy because you could spend it. if that makes sense.
Yes, but then then the other thing comes in that does not matter, because if that actually leads to inflation going up, then money would just be deleted anyhow, because the whole system is supposed to like the national bank constantly controls inflation anyhow. Like that money being taken into the system again doesn't matter, because then in the actual reserves they'll just found like whatever's been stolen will just be deleted from there, and then that 1,000 is just that there now. Like remember, the national bank constantly constantly keeps an eye out, like constantly controls inflation by adding or removing money from the economy. So if more money has been added to the economy through illegal means, and there's no way of finding that person, then we would just go and delete the money from the reserves instead. And then that money will just still, like, that money is the same. We adjusted the money amount to just for inflation. So inflation wouldn't go up.
How's that any different than from Bitcoin?
Because in Bitcoin, there's no one to adjust. Like, first of all, inflation isn't a thing in the same way for Bitcoin.
No, but that's no, because what I mean is, Bitcoin doesn't really matter to the system until you've used it. Like not to the Bitcoin system, but what I mean is like to.
Well, because it's all still also digital. There's nothing like what the person steals is the actual thing. Like that would be like someone going somehow getting into someone stealing from the National Reserve and stealing that money without anybody like realizing that money from the National Reserve has been stolen. And then no, because you can't even compare this. That's the problem. Because now there's a problem again, because again that's why the National Bank just readjusts as soon as they find out something is wrong. Or even if they don't find out it, like they don't even have to find out anything is wrong, because as soon as inflation goes up, they'll just like delete money, as they're supposed to. But also kind of means honestly that it's easier to get away with if you somehow manage to like hide it so nobody can ever see it, like nobody ever finds out. Then the economy would just be adjusted, and then suddenly what you did is just a completely normal transaction. And then the system is completely forgotten about.
Like normal money system.
Yeah, but the normal national banks, because the adjusting for inflation.
Like exactly, like the point is if the adjustment happens, right? Like and like if you've managed to gotten the digital money transferred into physical money,
yeah,
and then you've transferred that physical money, like you can keep track of the serial I guess the whole serial numbers of the like bills or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's a little code on them.
But once it has been enough circulation, and that's how you whitewash money, right?
Yeah,
you've gotten away with it, and that's the whole concept of you can whitewash money, because you can get away with it.
But that's the thing, like
making it accepted as real money.
Yeah.
But my point is, if you add a bunch of Bitcoin, because the government does not run on Bitcoin, it's just the same as stealing a bunch of old cash.
No, but that's a problem, because there's no where it gets adjusted for. If you steal or generate a bunch of Bitcoin, there's just more Bitcoin, and that those Bitcoins suddenly in the circulation, right?
Well, yeah, no, it increases, and okay, so, but the thing is that you cannot use the like in order for the Bitcoin to be in the general system, it has to be used, right?
Yeah.
Sure, it'll adjust like change the value of Bitcoin and like stuff like that, but what I mean is if you say you suddenly have 1 million Bitcoins and you don't actually, what difference has it made?
That you now have 1 million Bitcoins.
Well, yeah, but like if you don't go and spend it,
what if you do?
It makes no difference for the system. If you go and spend it, then there is more like. Then somebody has again received money for a service, and then can go like, and then it is whitewashed money.
But that's the difference, because then in the national bank, the bank would just adjust for it. It does not matter. Like somebody get away with a crime, sure, but the actual economy won't be affected by it, because inflation will automatically go up, and then the bank will just adjust for it. They don't even know they don't even have to know it ever happened. the transaction will just be adjusted for, and the actual currency won't be affected by it, even if they put like $1 trillion extra into the economy somehow. Of course, that would probably be figured out that something is wrong if $1 trillion was added. But theoretically, even if that nil was added, it wouldn't have an impact on the currency's value. It wouldn't have an impact on anything because, again, the bank would just a national bank would just adjust for it, like they always do. Inflation is inflation. Doesn't really matter where the inflation comes from.
Yeah, but like the point is that once you trade the bitcoins to money. Like, okay, let's take the extreme case of you add $1 trillion, right? Dollars, right?
That's probably a bit much for Bitcoin.
No, yeah, well, yeah, but like if you add $1 trillion Bitcoin to your account, whatever, right?
Okay.
I don't know if there even is that much Bitcoin.
Nope, aren't that many Bitcoins. Oh, Kickstarter broken.
No, like there's a limit for how much Bitcoin there can be.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a set amount. But
also, well, yeah, the value of the Bitcoin can change. So that set amount of Bitcoin can have a higher value or lower value.
Yeah.
But
and so I think it was based on like how many people buying it or something like that.
I mean, it's the value of any kind of thing that's traded.
Yeah, because this thing is it's tradable. It's not like it doesn't work like Currencies does, where.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have like a centralized system that can just decide the value.
Exactly.
But my point is that if you have to, if you like once you convert that into real money, right? Oh, this is a bad idea, isn't it?
No, you have to follow him, otherwise he despawns.
Yeah, no, but what if he teleports onto... Okay. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's your thing. Don't die. It's fine, I got him. The fuck, he fell down hole. Really? Okay, never mind. Back to conversation, that's more important. I don't actually care about the game. Where were we? What?
Give me a second.
No, sorry about that. That got us really distracted. I just lost 21 gold, by the way.
Yeah, I probably lost a bunch too.
Yeah, it is what it is. But where did we come from? What do you want? Yes.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yes?
I'm thinking.
Okay, fair enough. Then I go grab my stuff in meanwhile.
Is the point about they'll just adjust for it? No, but like,
but that's a problem. Like, the way you adjust for it normally is by you take the money out of circulation. If somebody added 1,000, you just delete 1,000. With normal currencies.
Yeah, but like if you don't, if the money has been successfully whitewashed, you don't know that it's been added.
No, but then inflation automatically will adjust as it goes.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Won't the same happen with?
But no, that's the thing. Inflation adjusts because, like, as soon as it goes up, somebody goes and like deletes the money so we can adjust it back to normal again. It's
well,
controlled.
yeah, and as soon as it goes up, so like when you add, like when you have.
But
Like,
who's going to
with
take
the
money
Bitcoin
out?
case? With the Bitcoin case, it's just gonna wait until you convert it into the currency that is, like, watched by the government.
But it isn't.
I mean, if you have a system where you're solely trading in Bitcoin, yeah, no, then it isn't.
Exactly. And like some services you can now buy with Bitcoin.
Again, but eventually, if it's government control, eventually it's going to end up.
Fucking hell.
The
slimes.
Eventually, the money is going to end up in the government, right? But
then
like,
we
the
come into
issue
another
can
problem
become
that
insanely big along the way.
we do come into another problem there, right? That Bitcoin isn't an independent currency. It is a currency based on the value of other currencies, like on actual currencies, right? Like it's the Bitcoin isn't a Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is technically a Bitcoin worth, but it's also worth a US dollar, right? And the what was I saying? The worth of that. Well, people have used actual money putting into it, right? Like people bought Bitcoin with actual money and are selling it for actual money. So if you make 1 million Bitcoins, if you make like 1 million new Bitcoins, then you're also making, and you sell them immediately into US dollars. That's why you're talking about, right? Then that will add whatever, like what 18 billion or whatever US dollars to the economy. If you somehow sell all of them, right?
I mean, but I don't know.
That's why the National Bank would then adjust the US dollars.
But that's where.
And that's why
I also think.
Stolen.
I also think if the because the record of, like, the record of how much Bitcoin is in circulation should be a thing, right? So that means that if there's more Bitcoin in circulation, suddenly the value drops.
But then there's something would be wrong because there can't be more Bitcoins in circulation.
What do you mean?
That there are a set amount of Bitcoin. That's all Bitcoins are. And those are the ones you trade.
Yeah, no, but they haven't all been in your mind yet. There's a set amount that's reserved. There's not a set amount right now in the system.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, that's why mining is still a thing, because that's
Go
how.
Go check. Because I understood
there's no reason for miners to mine if they don't earn money.
No. Because this is how I understood mining. Mining is you take a very small part of the Bitcoin that is traded, or Bitcoins that are traded. So mining is essentially just you letting the blockchains use your machine to do the whole trading through, and then you take a very small cut of the Bitcoins traded. Essentially as a transactional fee. That's mining, as far as I'm concerned. So you don't actually generate any more Bitcoins, you just take part of the Bitcoin that is traded.
By convention, the first transaction in a block is a special transaction that produces new bitcoins owned by the creator of the block. This is the incentive for nodes to support the network. It provides the way to move new bitcoins into circulation. The reward for mining halves every 210,000 blocks. It started at 50 bitcoin, dropped at 25 in late 2012, and 12.5 bitcoin in 2016. The most recent halving reduced it to 6.25. Okay. Rough overview of the process to mine bitcoins involves. And new transactions are broadcast to all nodes.
Oh, oh,
Each miner node collects
they do
new
produce
transactions
new.
into a
Okay,
block.
so they do produce new bitcoins. It's just there is only 21 million possible bitcoins to mine.
Yeah.
That is the set finite amount that can ever be mined. It can never be more than 21 million.
Exactly. There's a future amount that hasn't been reached yet.
Yeah. But that amount is already known, right? It is that, and it cannot change.
Yeah. So based on based on that, like based on the knowledge that Bitcoin, like the amount of Bitcoin is going to increase. I mean, either the value would be adjusted for that already, or the value will slowly be going down, right?
I guess.
And then there's a lot of other factors that make Bitcoin.
Yeah, actual value of Bitcoin is because of the amount traded, right? So as long as people are willing to buy higher, it goes up, like normal traded goods.
Yeah, because quite simply, it's a self-reinforcing effect, right?
Yeah.
It's a
it's gold.
Currency that is volatile, so you have a chance of making money. So people put money into it and take money into it out of it in a very erratic way.
It's just modern day gold.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't what else? Just gold. It's like before this, it was just gold speculation you did instead, and you bought and sold gold. And then stocks came and became and took over there. And you can even argue that stock speculation, especially how it was originally, is essentially the same. But there's also very little regulation stuff on it.
Yeah, so I don't know if miners get some sort of
I still think they're supposed to get like a small percentage for it. Like a very small amount.
But the thing is that that might be, but it would also,
as it's like serves a kind of transaction fee. Like I might remember incorrectly. Like I'm not saying that I'm infallible on this, but I seem to remember.
I'm just trying to think of it if that would make sense, because then
you just do like a normal transaction service happens, right? Yeah, the ones who own the server where you do the transaction on, they're the ones who get a small like a fee for doing it.
I mean, yeah, if you have like a centralized.
Exactly.
But, here that was the whole point of the decentralized ones.
That's also why you don't. That's why nobody pays for it really, and it's like. Maybe that's how the idea is that's how mining, like how you create a new one, that your fee is that very small amount isn't actually taken from the transaction, but it's created from the transaction.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess that could make more sense, and why. So nobody actually loses anything, nobody pays anything, but everybody gets paid still.
Yeah, it's all adjusted by the value of Bitcoin. But the value of Bitcoin, like it's the theoretical value of Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
If we say the demand for it stayed the same.
Yes.
Because like the point is, like, let's say the demand is a constant.
Yeah.
And the amount of it is what varies. That changes the value.
Oh yes. It should do at least. As long as
otherwise you've got infinite money.
Well, that's what Bitcoin kind of is.
Well, yeah, but eventually, once you begin using that money, suddenly it's not going to be infinite money anymore.
That's an interesting concept in its own right. Where you have infinite money until you use it.
Well, yeah, no, like, okay, so if you have a system where you if you say everybody accepts bitcoins, and that their worth is something very high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, like, if everybody can just use Bitcoin, like if the amount of Bitcoin changes, right? Like, let's say you get more Bitcoin and the value of Bitcoin does not change. then suddenly you have created more money into the system, and you're creating inflation. Well, you're not creating inflation.
Yeah, because
you're creating. You're going to create inflation because eventually the money is going to circulate to a point where prices are going to increase.
Theoretically.
I mean, but theoretically, you could say the same about any kind of currency.
Well, except there we don't deal with theoreticals because we just adjust.
Well, yeah, no, but let's say we didn't adjust.
Well, okay, then we don't have a centralized currency anymore.
Yeah, you can have a centralized currency without touching it. You can have a free market that controls everything, and we know what happens there. Things crash.
Yeah, that's how you destroy an economy.
Exactly. So my point is, if people don't take something to be of a lower value when there's more offered, then you're just creating money for out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. The bridge is long enough. You can drop over to get your stuff.
I know, but is the drop
It's
gonna kill me?
Yeah.
Also, the zombies are gonna kill me on the way.
True.
Okay. Got any of those handy, Wow, that's not ideal.
Oh god. Alright. Centralized and decentralized currencies are quite fascinating, especially the differences between them and how the whole shebang even works. But still, GG, centralized currency wins. Way better. Take that, liberal or something.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I mean, we're just getting to the point where, the discussion has... I feel like we got to it, pretty early, where, our knowledge just does not support the level of discussion.
Yeah, that's what's interesting, right? Because normally when people talk about this, they have a lot of knowledge behind it, or pretend like they have a lot of knowledge behind it.
We're just trying to understand it.
We're just trying to understand what's going on, yeah.
And in the end, we can't say that either one of us is right or wrong. We're just kind of at the point of, okay, we think this is probably how it works.
Exactly.
Maybe. Because based on this argument, otherwise it would be kind of weird if it worked like this. Ta-da!
That's the interesting part, right?
Yeah, well, no, yeah, that is. But some level of information that is higher than what we have would probably be useful.
I don't like it. I think that's why it's more interesting. I think that's if you wanted that, you could just go and watch a proper debate, or even just one of those debate pros and go and listen to what they're talking about, because they have at least done some kind of research on it.
I'm in complete darkness. I can't see anything. I don't know how to get up.
God damn it. But that's the thing. They have some knowledge on it. I have a bit of knowledge on on both the things as well, but it's very minimal and it's barely backed up by anything. Most of the knowledge I've gotten through through short bits in other information videos. I watched quite a bit about the economies of countries, and in there the idea of centralized decentralized currencies have been talked a bit about, right? As a secondary thing. While if we prepared for this, we would have gone and actually read proper articles on it and fucking research documents or something. That would actually found proper reports and figure out what the hell they're talking about. But
Yeah.
but then we just be everyone else. Then we just do the exact same thing as everyone else who debates and talks.
I mean, fair enough. But I think what will then be more interesting is that we actually have, we are actually looking, we're not playing Terraria, which means that we are actively looking for the information that we're seeking.
I don't think Terraria has a nice twist to it.
The discussion is the process of finding out what information is needed, to understand the concept, and then us looking for that information should be the main part. Not playing Terraria.
I like the idea that we talk about centralized currencies and then the king slime shows up.
Yep. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, I'm looking for like something so we can fall down.
I can build some rope.
You know what? You can't make rope drop down though, can? Yes, you can. You can't make it go up. That's.
I can go up.
I know how rope works. Whenever I have like a long piece of rope, right, and I stand it at some point like on top of a building, let's say, it totally goes up, so I can climb further up into the sky. You know,
yeah, of course.
Building, whatever.
That's
how rope works.
That's how our international space program works. We just use some rope. Oh boy. So, but what you're telling me now is that we have to make a podcast that is just us playing Terraria while talking politics or economics.
Oh my god! I mean, why not? Sure. You know what? Like, if everybody else can make a totally biased, if non-information based podcast, like, why can't we?
Exactly. And we can add a nice twist to Terraria.
And it's a nice twist of wherever we get the information from is either we can tell that we don't know where we have the information from, or we're just making it up because you can't see any sources on the screen,
it's
or
so
then
perfect.
You're seeing the source on the screen and we're reading it as you're looking.
I think it'd be kind of interesting. But anyhow, I think that will be for another day, as I'm getting quite exhausted already.
Yeah.
Or do you feel like you can go for like 5 hours more?
We need to get our stuff.
No, I'm fine. I'm alive.
Can I teleport to you?
Well, of course. I've just been waiting for you to come and get your stuff.
Oh, did you all join the... Oh, we only have one wormhole potion.
I have 3 on me.
Okay.
I'm just holding.
I think I had one. I don't know if you stole it from me.
I haven't taken things.
No, like earlier maybe.
Probably. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, he just dropped a helmet. There's a bunch of money down there.
Oh yeah, I see. Jesus.
I kind of killed a few of these. But yeah, as soon as we get our things here, we'll be done for today.
Yeah.
That was fun. We'll definitely do more of this in the future. And we might actually do something... Like make this into something more proper, and then not have it connected to the Terraria series.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'll see.
I mean, the Terraria was supposed to be something casual.
That is true. That's also why we could do this. And why the whole academy thing doesn't really matter too much.
I have to equip everything.
Though I feel like
Can
travel...
you cover me?
I feel like Traveler and Ghanaians for Bud would discuss these things as well, though.
Fair enough.
But they'll do it while they're actually getting fired upon and like dying in the field.
Yeah, no, like we can't just pull up sources as in character.
Yeah, no, we would use like the in-world sources we could find.
Maybe we should discuss the politics of video games next.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I have 2 wormhole potions on me now, so we are not out of them. Can you give me a recall? Do you have one?
I do.
Do you have one for yourself as well?
I have like 9 of them somewhere.
Oh, I have 2 pairs of pants.
Yeah, they've been dropping them while I've been killing them.
Oh.
Can you take them with you?
I have 2 pairs of helmets too.
Yeah, you saw that one drop. Can you pick it up? I don't have inventory space. Yeah, I'll just drop this.
Wait, give me a second. I'm still got stuff I haven't equipped.
Drink a potion, it's down there.
No, I've got plenty of stuff I haven't equipped. Just give me a second. Wait, I have 2 superior melees now?
Maybe. But anyhow, anyone still...
So now you can also get a yo-yo.
I don't need that.
What if you want one?
I don't want one. Anyhow, for anyone who's watching, please do remember to subscribe. It'll be very appreciated, and more of this will be happening in the future. And even if you don't really like watching, it does help the channel a lot, and we really do appreciate that.
We promise not to sell your soul to the demon.
I don't think we can actually promise that.
Can we not? Oh, damn it.
Yeah, no.
Help.
I'm trying.
Where was my stuff? There. That
Yes.
tube. In a tube. There we go. Important.
Fuck it. Drink the potion to get home.
No, I need my better regeneration. There we go. Okay, I think I've got everything.
Okay, but that has been Tom again from about. I'll see some of you in the future. Bye bye.
Not all of you?